I didn't put any music in this video. You better watch the whole thing, cause it took so long to make. And I want you to subscribe, cause this took a lot of time. And please comment below, cause I reply for sure. Since the advent of gene therapy, people have been talking about
sickle cell anemia,
sickle cell disease.
Or whether it's news, whether it's podcasts, whether it's social media, whether it's, YouTube, whether it's me. The point is, the amount of sickle cell content that the general public consume is directly proportional to the amount of sickle cell content that the sickle cell community puts out. Because let's be honest, people's attention spans are cooked. They're getting shorter and shorter. Therefore, we need to meet them at the level of their attention, which is more so social media and television. Over time, there has been not a surgence, but like a trickling of sickle cell representation in popular media. And there have been more shows that highlight the sickle cell experience. And with that begs the question, do they represent the sickle cell experience well, or do they make a parody, or do they make light of the pain that we go through? These are the conversations that must be had if we want to make change and have reform with how we are treated as sickle cell warriors. With each new decade, people have a lot more access to information. Not just that, but there is new developments every single year, it seems, when it comes to sickle cell. And so the conversation needs to be ongoing. And that includes holding these movies and these producers and these artists accountable when it comes to portraying the sickle cell community in a certain way. And so, I got roughly 10 shows to show y'all, and I'm going to be ranking them on tiermaker.com. And we'll giving my honest opinion ranking on how they portray us. Just like anything I say on this channel, it is either my opinion or I did the research and I am just divulging the research to you guys. I am not a critic, and I am not trying to come for your favorite movie, franchise, or TV show. And this isn't an objective rating of the TV show itself or movie or franchise. It is only ranking how they deal with
Sickle cell.
There was a 60-minute segment on the new gene therapy that got approved, and so we're going to talk about it.
When his bass player, hematologist Dr. John Tisdale, started riffing on an idea.
We'd finished setting up and went for a pizza before the gig. At this point, I pitched to Francis that it was really time that we do something definitive for sickle cell disease.
In the laboratory, Dr. Tisdale and his collaborators created a gene with the correct spelling. Then, to get that gene into the patient, they used something with a frightening reputation. HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. It turns out HIV is especially good at transferring DNA into cells.
So this shows the process.
Here's how it works. The corrected gene, seen here in yellow, is inserted into the HIV virus. Then, bone marrow stem cells are taken from a patient with sickle cell anemia. In the laboratory, those cells are combined with the virus carrying that new DNA.
This virus will then find its way to one of those cells and drop off a copy or two of the correctly spelled gene. And then these cells will go back to the patient.
If the process works, the stem cells with the correct DNA will start producing healthy red blood cells.
I can hear people, our viewers out there thinking, wait a second, how do you know you're not going to get AIDS from the HIV virus?
The short answer is we cut out the bits that cause infection in HIV, and we really replace that with the gene that's misspelled in sickle cell disease so that it transfers that instead of the infectious part.
The stakes here are enormous.
Yes.
There's really very little safety net here, right?
Make no mistake, we're talking about very cutting-edge research where the certainty about all the outcomes is not entirely there. We can look back at the history of gene therapy and see there have been some tragedies.
Deaths.
Yes.
The American Society of Hematologists did an article reviewing the state of the sickle cell media landscape, and in it talks about the 60-minute segment that I just showed you And it said that when it compared the lentiviral vectors to HIV, Dr. Sheehan says for years afterwards, when I would try to talk about gene therapy, I would have some patients or parents say, I don't want to get HIV. Then the NIH funding to fuel these gene therapy research projects were influenced to some degree by how sickle cell is portrayed on television. This is bigger than just a representation in media issue. This affects the way that funding and research is done. And so when it comes to keeping these studios accountable, keeping these shows upfront and transparent with how they treat us and represent us, should be one of the top priorities for anybody who calls himself an advocate for sickle cell. And I'm not gonna rank 60 Minutes just because it's a formal news outlet, and it's not fair for me to judge it based on the same criteria as I do the fiction and the different shows that I will show after this, so it doesn't get a rank. The Chai follows this character named Emmett, and he's played by Jacob Lattimore. And in The Chai, Emmett is trying to navigate becoming a man and having an identity that is beyond the hood that he grew up in. And so, following his story, he meets this girl named Keisha who has a son named Ronnie. And this is where we start to see him and Keisha's relationship kind of grow. And around season 6, Ronnie is introduced with having sickle cell.
Sorry, he seems fine now, but he wouldn't stop crying.
Don't be sorry. How are you holding up?
Not sleeping much. Just want to make sure my baby's okay. Any updates on his condition?
Yes. After running several blood tests, Ronnie has been diagnosed with sickle cell disease. This disease is tough, but I will guide you through the treatment options.
Isn't sickle cell a death sentence? Are you saying my baby is gonna die?
No, not at all. Ronnie will live a long, full life. He'll just require extra care. Because there's a higher risk of infection for kids with sickle cell, we want to do a full genetic screening of both parents. I just want to be thorough and make sure nothing is being overlooked.
You have to have the father's DNA.
Sickle cell is hereditary, so yes.
Shout out to that doctor for dispelling the fears that the mother had for her son having sickle cell, because that is still unfortunately a stigma with us being born. It's like, oh, your lifespan is going to be shorter, or you're going to die before you're an adult. And this is a classic example of the trait being with another trait, making a kid that has the disease. Because Keisha did not know that her baby daddy had the trait as well.
How's he doing?
He hasn't had any flare-ups like last time, so that's good.
I didn't even know I carried that.
Most people don't.
I'm sorry he's sick because of me.
It's not your fault.
Technically it is, but we're not gonna go there. So for this ranking, I will give The Chai an A when it comes to representing people with sickle cell, because it wasn't really even about Ronnie. It was more about the show choosing to have that plot point be an education tool for the audience to understand more about sickle cell. The Pit, I'm ranking it as an S. And let me explain. As a matter of fact, I ain't gotta tell you, I'm gonna just show you.
Drug-seeking woman kicked off a city bus for disrupting and disturbing passengers. She's been screaming for narcotics nonstop. We found an empty Percocet bottle 5 days ago.
I bet you're calling!
He's been uncooperative and combative since we picked him.
Get off her! Let her go!
Stop fighting! Calm the fuck down or I'm calling the cops.
My meds at home aren't working! Please, I have sickle cell!
Okay, stop. Everybody stop.
Stop!
What's your name?
It's Joyce. It's Joyce.
Joyce, is this your sickle cell pain?
Yes!
10 milligrams of IV morphine.
You really want 10?
Yes, repeat it in 5 minutes if needed. And she needs a dilaudid drip. This is a vaso-occlusive crisis. I'm so sorry this happened. You're gonna be okay now. We're safe here. Come on. You're gonna be safe here. I promise. Just breathe.
Let's go, boy!
The way that the pit handled this scene without it feeling forced, without it feeling dramatized, without it being artificial, like the pain that Joyce feels, you could feel that pain through the screen. And every person that has sickle cell, if they had to explain what it is to a doctor while they are in pain, the way she just...
Yes!
The way she said that is exactly how we would be. And then the doctor de-escalating the situation while also not de-emphasizing Joyce's pain is exactly what we should experience each time that we are in a pain crisis. But unfortunately, this isn't the case. So flawless execution by the pit. But this isn't the only scene that Joyce is in, and that highlights the discrimination and the prejudice that the sickle cell community can go through. This scene that I'm gonna show you, it shows the arrogance, or not the arrogance, but the ignorance of some doctors that just aren't aware of our pain.
What are you doing?
Still breathing after 20 of morphine.
How's the pain, Joyce?
Oh, a little better.
You've ordered an exchange transfusion.
Figured I needed that.
What's your normal regimen at home?
90 of extended release morphine every 12 hours and oxycodone for breakthrough pain, but it wasn't working.
Starting IV dilaudid at 4 an hour. You can press this button if you need a little extra.
That only works once an hour, though, so don't go crazy.
Could I confer with you?
Yeah.
You seem surprised by the opiate dosage.
It seemed a little high.
So was her pain.
How do you know she's not drug
You
seeking?
can't fake a hemoglobin of 6. Do you know what sickle cell crisis does to the body? Blood cells get caught and plug up your capillaries and deprive all your cells of oxygen. It's been described as an electrical stabbing pain that feels like it's breaking your bones and flushing glass through your body.
I never thought of it like that.
Little empathy goes a long way with those suffering in real pain.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you'll get good at spotting the fakers, and half the time all those people need is someone to really listen to them and hear their story.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I'm not even mad at bro, because what he was doing, he was going off of what he was taught. He's a med student at the end of the day. And so it was the med school that he attended that taught him a flawed way of deciphering between drug addict or sickle cell pain. I mean, this is just absolute cinema. Pitt did their thing. I have no complaints.
That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Since A Walk Among the Tombstones is too long to say each time, I'm gonna call it AWAT. And AWAT, I just was watching casually. It wasn't in preparation of this video because I just saw it and I thought it was interesting. But it actually flies under the radar because it doesn't even show sickle cell as the central point. It's about Liam Neeson trying to find a killer, of course. And then along the way, he meets this guy named TJ who appoints himself as Liam Neeson's assistant detective, and he's just really trying to get busy because he's on the streets, he's homeless, he's not like in school, and so he needs something to do. And so TJ helps Liam Neeson find the killer, get clues, but along the way, TJ is walking down the street and it's raining and he gets jumped by these guys, and that causes him to have a sickle cell crisis.
He got worked over pretty good, but he was also out in the rain. Either one could have triggered the crisis.
Crisis?
He's a sickler. He's got sickle cell anemia. You didn't know that?
No.
Well, a sickler gets a cold or a chill, anything that makes a normal person's blood cell count go up, anytime the body gets ready to fight something. The red blood cells panic, and they take on a sickle shape, actually create a kind of a traffic jam in the arteries. The blood gets very thick. Suddenly, you're not getting any oxygen.
What are you doing for him?
Well, we're hydrating him, giving him Demerol for the pain. But he knew the drill. He got in here early enough, so I don't think it'll go on for too long. I'll be right out there if you need me.
Thanks. Okay.
Don't feel sorry for me.
I don't.
How long I gotta be here for, man?
Depends on how well you behave.
You know, my mom told me once that I got special blood, that I can never catch malaria. That's how sickle cell got started in Africa as a defense against malaria.
Now, mind you, this movie was made back in 2014, so them mentioning the malaria part is very good. However, I will dock some points off just because the doctor called TJ a sickler, and that's just my preference. I feel like sicklers is kind of a slur. Warriors, in the comments, let me know if you would prefer to be called sickler, because I feel like that's kind of crazy. And if you use your imagination, right, it do rhyme with another word that should not be in a doctor's vocabulary or any person's vocabulary, as a matter of fact. So I'm putting AWAT at a B. This is going to be a longer review because The Resident has multiple layers and multiple episodes with this character named Rose who has sickle cell. And in season 4, episode 7, Rose comes in for a pain crisis in her hip. And then at first, Dr. Pravesh assumes that Rose is drug seeking, and Rose had to school him on her pain. And then afterwards, he turns around and is supportive and empathetic throughout her journey, throughout these episodes, to get her into gene therapy. Before we get into the gene therapy part, we're going to talk about her need to get a hip replacement because of the avascular necrosis.
I'm not doing the surgery. The risks are too high.
I know it's scary, but a hip replacement is your best option, Rose.
Doctors never get it. You're the ones with the medical degrees, but I have to school you on my disease. It's exhausting.
I know from personal experience that many patients of color aren't heard. Chastain is different. I am different. Help me understand.
Surgery for sickle cell patients is even riskier. You could fix my hip, but leave me with other issues. Tell me I won't have an anemia crisis or a cardiac crisis or worse.
I can't imagine the pain you've endured, and I understand why you are reluctant to think more time in a hospital would help you. I get it. Your hip is about shot. I want to do it today because it's best that we take advantage of this window while you're relatively well. Because during a sickle cell crisis, there would be such a high possibility of a fatal blood vessel blockage that a surgery would be even more dangerous. So, Rose, let me help you. We will do everything we can to keep you safe. That's a promise.
Okay, now we fast forward after Rose's hip replacement surgery, and Dr. Pravesh is now talking to her about the prospects of gene therapy.
Honestly, I feel healthier and happier than I have felt in a long time. But admitting that sends a wave of dread over me because I know it's temporary. And I know that I'll never escape that, not for the rest of my life.
Well, what if I told you that might not be true?
We've been through this. Doctors always underestimate my pain, but it is very, very real.
I know. But I've been doing some research. There have been some developments in gene therapy. Recent clinical trials with good outcomes. There might be a cure, Rose.
So this is a shameless plug that I did a video talking about gene therapy curing sickle cell. Or can it? that means you gotta click the video and watch to find out. So far so good. Rose is potentially getting gene therapy.
I think I may have found her a clinical trial using gene therapy. Founder of one of these companies running the trial, he's an old college buddy of mine, and he wrote this paper about how he's revolutionizing sickle cell treatment, potentially curing it.
Well, we both know he'll be incentivized to publish only the good outcomes and conveniently leave out the bad. Like most pharma companies, just keep an eye on them.
Look, you know I'm not going to get Rose involved in anything that I don't 100% believe in. You know that.
Of course I do. I trust you. I just don't trust big pharma. Both love Rose. Just, I want this to work out for her.
Yeah, me too.
You can call it luck, you can call it serendipity, you can call it favor, you can call it God's blessing, you can call it motion, you can call it clout, but I call it contrived that the doctor that at first was not empathetic towards Rose's pain is the same doctor that knows a guy that has the cure to sickle cell, potentially. Because if you know the guy that's researching sickle cell cures, then you should know how to treat people with sickle cell if they're your patient. I'll excuse the resident this one time, but next time, let's be more consistent and button up those plot holes.
Philip, dude, you're still driving that nasty beater from college, and this is what your lab looks like?
That car treats me well, man. We had some good times rolling around Harvard Square in that car.
No comment.
Look, the way I see it, you gotta put your money into something that can do some good. Right now, that's here.
I'm proud of you, man. I always knew you'd be a great hematologist, but...
What, you didn't think I would cure sickle cell anemia?
Have you?
We've completed our gene therapy protocol in a total of 5 patients. All are currently leading normal lives. No more symptoms, no pain.
Did you get a chance to look at my patient's medical chart that I sent you?
Yes. Keep in mind it doesn't normally happen this fast, but we did just have somebody drop out. And, I mean, Rose is a perfect candidate. That said, these are uncharted waters. There is a chance, slight, that a patient could come out worse. They could die. A lot of hospitals won't risk hosting our trials.
But you think Chastain should?
Not think, need. I know it's a lot to ask, but if I can convince your CEO to become a site in this trial, we would be one step closer to eradicating sickle cell from Atlanta.
Look, I could probably get you in the room, but Kit Voss, she's a different kind of CEO. If she even suspects, Philip, that this is about money or profit,
No, just give me a chance, okay? I will nail it, and then you and me, Pravesh, we'll start changing the world.
According to this article on Reuters, a whopping 80% of patients with sickle cell in the United States will not be eligible to get the gene therapy as of right now. Now, this is subject to change as new technologies and different techniques emerge in the future. So let's be real with ourselves. We have 2 gene therapy products that are available to us as of right now, as of 2025. And so with these types of things, these companies, they were not just made in 2020 and then in 2023 they made, FDA approval. They had to get through decades of research and studies and clinical trials for them to get to market. And see, I didn't even mention the restrictions, the regulations, the political red tape, not just in America, but internationally, because they all want to serve the sickle cell community globally. This isn't just an American thing. These companies want to serve the world. And this is a small aside, but the amount of sickle cell gene therapy solutions compared to the total amount of gene therapy solutions for, say, other diseases is very minuscule. I pulled this graph off of SciTech Today, and sickle cell is the gene therapy category with the least number of trials out of all of them, and cancer is the one with the most. whether deliberate or unintended, the results are still showing negligence for research funding for sickle cell. So much so that they have proportionally more gene therapy trials funded for nondescript purposes. And I think that's what The Resident is trying to underline in the chunks of episodes showcasing Rose's story, is that it's both from the patient side and the company side ordeal when it comes to getting gene therapy. Because the guy, I don't know what his name is, the CEO that he was talking to from Abbott Elementary, that's the only other show I know him from. He's going to be on his own little story getting the approval to get the hospital to be a clinical trial site.
Look, this is not about the money. And I know when somebody says that, it is always about the money.
Then what is this about, Mr. Bondman?
You're looking at me and you're thinking, what is this white guy from Harvard doing trying to cure a predominantly African-American disease? Well, I'll be honest with you, it was a calculated decision. The technology is here. CRISPR, gene therapy. There is a badly underserved population. And if BioSouth can solve this problem, we would have the momentum and the money to solve others. BioSouth, Philip Bondman would become synonymous with curing people.
I appreciate the honesty. But does this give Rose a fighting chance at battling her disease?
Yes, it does. And not just Rose. We're a public hospital now, so we're serving large sickle cell populations that can really benefit from Philip's work here.
I want a cure, of course. And Rose deserves nothing less. But getting into bed with Big Pharma...
With all due respect, BioSouth is not Big Pharma. We couldn't be further from it. We are small, we're scrappy, and we want to do good.
So what did you say?
that I consider it. In a perfect world, there wouldn't be a financial incentive to make better medicine.
But that's not the world we live in. So what harm is there in giving the guy a chance?
The harm is, history is littered with examples of dubious advancements in science coming at the cost of a vulnerable population. The Tuskegee syphilis experiment, Henrietta Lacks.
Yeah, but in this case, the patients have the most to gain. You know, a cure for an ancient disease, how amazing would that be?
It could also be an opportunity to show that this is a new Chastain. One that will go to the ends of the earth for its patients.
It sounds to me like you've already made your decision.
Of course, Chastain gets approved to be a clinical trial site for BioSouth. And then now the episodes following that focus on Rose getting gene therapy. At first she's nervous, but she's excited at the same time and hopeful that this is going to cure her sickle cell. And of course, being a TV show, and especially a hospital TV show, something has to go wrong. Rose is now having complications. She's having pain after getting the new stem cells. And so she's not feeling well. The doctors don't know what is going on. Pravesh is hopeful that it still will work. And his friend is also worried about Rose because of the risk that if she fails and if she doesn't get better, that his company will go under. And so they're trying their best to figure out what's going on with her. Of course, she is now having doubts that the gene therapy will work at all. And so Pravesh consults with the head doctor. I don't know her name, but basically they're just hoping for the best. And this is Rose just feeling defeated and feeling like, oh, this isn't going to work. I don't want to do this anymore. So Pravesh is trying to give hope to her and convince her to keep going with the therapy, but she's out of it. She's tired. She's not feeling well. She's given up on herself and her cure. And so Dr. Pravesh pulls out his trump card, who is Dr. Kang. Dr. Kang basically has been flirting and talking to Rose on the side. You know how these hospital shows tries to make relationships between doctor and patient or whatever, try to focus on romance as well as the work in the hospital. And so he basically just gives a pep talk to Rose. It's like, you gotta finish. You gotta be here. I can't have you not having this cure. You gotta fight. You gotta work through this. You got this. You're strong. You're a warrior. You're my warrior. So that convinced Rose to go through the therapy. And now they're just waiting on the outcome. But the head doctor lady, she goes to Pravesh's friend with some very good news.
Marshall, this is Philip Bondman, the founder of BioSouth Labs, the company we partnered with for our sickle cell clinical trial.
Kid has great things to say about you.
Please, have a seat. Marshall is chairman of the board at Chastain. Dr. Pravesh told me you're looking for an angel investor in return for a stake in the company.
Kit has proposed that Chastain become that angel investor, and I'm interested.
We could inject cash into BioSouth right away, and the hospital would share in your risk, as well as the potential returns.
You understand the risk is real with BioSouth. We are still speculative.
Chastain needs new sources of revenue, badly. Yes, it's a risky investment, but if we are going to spend our risk currency, it will be on someone who's looking to do good in the world. That and your product seems promising.
With enough cash, we believe you can do more.
This sounds like a godsend.
Could be a perfect partnership.
Yeah, so I don't know how common it is for a hospital, a public hospital at that, to take stake in a budding biotech company. And so I'm just like, okay, that's good for him. But I think it's just a part of the show trying to make a profitable ending for the people involved in Rose's gene therapy. And I mean profitable both on the literal side and the metaphorical side. Metaphorically speaking, the profit of the audience being satisfied with the episode, but literally meaning they make money on the episode itself. And with this being a hospital show, the patient either dies or they recover fully from their illness, and the doctors triumphantly celebrate. So which path do you think the resident took with our good fellow warrior, Rose? Let's find out, shall we?
Rose's blood smear results.
Oh my God, no sign of sickle cell. That's incredible.
You should be the one to give her the news, not me. You're the one who got her here.
I will. Thanks.
You sure there's no mistake?
I'm sure. On the right are your red blood cells from the day we met. Over half are sickle-shaped. On the left are your cells today, round and smooth. I'm gonna say perfect.
But if there are no sickle cells, then why was I in so much pain?
Joint and muscle pain are totally normal when you start hitting the gym and dancing and doing everything you're doing now.
What about my chest pain?
That's costochondritis. It's pain in the muscle and cartilage between your ribs. It's harmless, it'll go away with time. Your body just isn't used to doing anything normal yet. You were just so excited to exercise, so I think you just pushed yourself too hard.
I'm gonna need you to say it.
Okay.
That is one thing about these doctor shows. They be dragging these moments out too long. It's like, oh, you say it. No, you say it. You say it. Oh my gosh, I'm cured. Yay. All jokes aside, the way the resident portrays sickle cell is one of the best that you will find, and therefore it deserves an A. An A+, actually, above the try. 50 Cent, aka Curtis Jackson, aka the director and producer of Ghost, as well as VMF, if you didn't know. He has an episode where he has somebody living with sickle cell, and we're going to talk about it.
It's a little early for that, isn't it?
Save your judgment. These are my meds. I have sickle cell.
I had no idea.
These just help reduce the risk of going into crisis.
It's a crisis.
You never heard of that?
I've never met anyone with sickle cell.
Right, you grew up around 0 Black people. Crisis is when my body loses oxygen, so it feels like everything's about to shut down. My whole body feels like it's on fire, and it's like, imagine teeny tiny pieces of sharp glass running through your veins. It hurts.
Is that why you...
I'm not an addict, Brayden. Sometimes I just need a little extra pick-me-up to manage the other symptoms. Depression, anxiety.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't need your pity. And I sure as hell don't want to hear another person's opinion on what I should do with my body ever again. Don't tell anyone. Okay? People start treating me like I'm made of glass when they know.
I'm not gonna tell anyone. But just so you know, you don't have to hide anything from me, ever. Okay?
Okay.
Her name is Elle, by the way. The way that this show does her, and her being like a snippet of the sickle cell community in the short period that she has in this episode talking about it, because she doesn't talk about it after this, nor her boyfriend. And so the way that she is depicted as doing drugs with her boyfriend, but also having sickle cell at the same time, is dangerous representation, to say the least, and malicious disappropriation, to say the worst. And there are a gamut of different lifestyles that the sickle cell community lives while fighting their disease, but the way that the show depicts Elle as the only one with sickle cell, yet she is on drugs, and she is trying to blend in and not try to tell people while fighting this disease on drugs, is a bit inappropriate. And not just inappropriate, but damaging to the reputation of the sickle cell community, because of course I know that the show isn't about sickle cell, it's about drug dealers and gang members. Whenever these shows are shown on television, people that aren't aware of sickle cell will assume that we do drugs, that we have to cope with the depression and anxiety with cocaine, especially those that don't have common sense. They will take this scene and then extrapolate it to the whole sickle cell community at large. 50 Cent, if I ever meet you, I will definitely have a talk with you about the way you represented sickle cell through Elle. I think it goes without saying that Ghost gets a D when it comes to sickle cell. In season 4, episode 4 of New Amsterdam, we have a sickle cell reference. It's not the patient having sickle cell. The doctor just asks, "Oh, do you have sickle cell?" And the patient's like, "What's that?"
I'm still waiting on your medical file, but do you know if you have sickle cell disease or the trait?
Trait? I'm sorry, sickle what?
Sickle cell is common among African Americans.
What? I'm not black.
Social services, main lobby. Social services, main lobby.
And people still think like this to this day. I'm not surprised that the Amsterdam crew was like, we gonna highlight these transracial thinking people in society. So I ain't got nothing else to say. Let's just watch their real depiction of sickle cell.
I'm Mr. Newfound. Hi, you must be Alicia. I'm Dr. Sharp. This is my colleague, Dr. Cow.
They said she had a small stroke, that maybe it was because of her sickle cell.
This stroke may have been small, but the next one may not be.
We are very sorry to have to tell you this, but we found a blockage in your basilar artery, which supplies blood to the cerebellum. This is the area of the brain that controls your motor skills and cognitive functions.
What does that mean?
Alicia's sickle cell anemia is restricting the blood flow to her brain.
But with proper testing, we can prevent another stroke.
Tell me, Mr. Newbound, has Alicia ever had transcranial Doppler screenings?
Of course, we relied on them. I was taking her to get them once a year until last March.
Why did you stop?
The program was discontinued.
It was where?
Here.
I have no comments about Alicia but I do think that she is in a good situation, because at least when you have a stroke, you rather have it young than have it old, because at that time your brain can't like readjust, because its neuroplasticity is not as, good. And you don't gotta believe me, but this is ChatGPT confirming what I just said. So you can still not believe me and ChatGPT and be wrong on your own. So anyway, the black doctor who actually discontinued the Doppler screenings realized that she made a mistake and goes to the head, I guess the chair of the hospital, and says we need to reinstate it.
I cut funding of the Doppler screenings for our sickle cell patients. It was the peak of COVID and we were moving fast, obviously too fast, and okay, look. I take every part of my job incredibly seriously, but the part that I view as more than a job, as a higher duty, is taking care of children. And I have let one down. In the ICU right now, I have a patient who may never walk again, and she is 14. She had a stroke that may have been avoided had I have not ended the program. So I have come here to ask you, to beg you for the money so that I can reinstate the program so this can never happen again.
You know how bad the financials are, right? And that's why the board brought me in. But I hear you, and I appreciate you taking responsibility. I don't think every program is worth keeping. But this one sounds like it might be. So I will find a way to get you that money.
Yeah, so all these hospital shows have a major plot and a minor plot. This was a minor plot. So the thing that was the major plot in this episode, and this has nothing to do with sickle cell, this is just something I thought was very interesting because I never thought this could happen. Basically, the chief person in the hospital, she had a scheme to get the local ambulance companies that they contract with to go out of network and bring in patients that weren't really sick to the hospital so that they could make more money.
So what's the emergency?
Mr. Santangelo lived on the Upper East Side.
What were you doing 40 blocks outside the hospital jurisdiction? Is that why you were driving so fast, just to make up the miles?
This is me now, Rob. Not the police. And you need to tell me why this happened.
We were ordered to make the pickup.
What? Ordered by who?
Our battalion chief.
Why? Why were you driving 1,000 miles an hour for a man with a fever?
Hey, look. We were told to ignore jurisdiction. Grab any patient we could anywhere in the city, then drive bat out of hell to make the drop so we can get back out onto the street as soon as possible.
That's insane. Why would he tell you to do that?
Private ambulance companies are killing us, Lauren. This is how you compete.
Your chief? He's done.
Wasn't his idea.
Oh yeah, then whose was it?
Dr. Fuentes, your new medical director.
I just had to throw it in the video just because it's a very juicy plot line. I didn't expect it from this show. I just was like, oh, it's another hospital show. Give me the scalpel, making the incision. Oh my gosh, they miraculously improved. Oh no, their blood pressure's dropping. Give me the CCs. 1, 2, 3. But yeah, this show gets a B for its performance on sickle cell. But best believe I will be watching after this. Supercell is such a tremendous show that we all, as sickle cell warriors, need to support it, whether we like it or not. We need to champion Supercell just because the way that it has sickle cell as the forefront of the narrative. I don't see anybody else in Hollywood attempting to do something like that, especially for an underrepresented population such as sickle cell. It's one thing for a nonprofit for sickle cell to make a short or a video or a campaign, but it's another to have actual Hollywood producers and actual like representation in television and media and abroad. Because let's be honest, a lot of these hospital shows do have us represented, but is it right for us to only be in hospital shows and not other shows and other mediums properly represented? I don't think so. And Rapman, the producer of Supercell, clearly doesn't think so either, because I looked on his Breakfast Club interview and he took a lot of inspiration for Supercell from people having sickle cell around him in his life.
Real. And sickle cell to me was always something I never understood. That why is there a disease that genuinely puts dark skin tones in a weak position of weakness? I never understood that. I said, nah, man, like, I need to spin this on his head. Because another thing, you walk into a room with 10 people, and if you ask them about sickle cell, if more than 3 people put their hand up, you're in a great room. Because most people don't know nothing about it. And that's even our own community. They pretend like they do, but a lot of people don't know nothing about it. So I said, how can I make this a thing of power? How can I raise awareness? And I think, you know what, if there's something that can make us weak, there must be something that can make us strong. And as a parent, if I was having to live with sickle cell, that would make me weak and tired and hurt and pain, but it would make my kid extraordinary, I'll take that deal.
Why sickle cell in particular, though? Like,
I knew one girl, and every time, like, she wouldn't come into college, and I was like, why are you never turning up? Why are you never turning up? She's like, oh, I've got sickle cell. And she was every 2 weeks, she'll be in hospital. And she showed me, like, her whole bag of her blood transfusion. This was like a massive bag. So you said you're taking this amount of blood every 2 weeks. And it was crazy to me. And I ended up going down the rabbit hole about it, trying to figure out where it came from. And there's no real answers. But it was the only fact is it predominantly affects darker skin. I was like, nah, if someone ain't going to give me answers, we're going to have to get people talking, man. So it always stuck in the back of my head. So as soon as I got the opportunity, I just opened the door on it, man.
And then it just blew up on Netflix with a 70% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. And I get it. People may not like the show because it isn't about sickle cell. It's about people that have superpowers. And it may highlight sickle cell. It may showcase some people with sickle cell, but it doesn't explore the difference in experience when it comes to the sickle cell community. And so they could have done more than they actually did when it comes to representing sickle cell itself, instead of using it as a springboard for the plot to move forward. However, you can tell that Rapman and the other producers had did their research and made sure that they represented us in the best possible way while still keeping the creative liberties to make sure the narrative was interesting enough for other people that did not have sickle cell to enjoy. Of all the characters on the show, Michael's mom is the one that is shown having sickle cell, and she goes to the clinic to discuss her treatment options and the different options for care.
Remember the people I was talking to you about from the Sickle Cell Centre?
Hi, Michael.
Hi.
I brought my colleague Victoria along. She's been in the organisation much longer than I, and she can answer any questions that you might have.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Michael. And you must be Tina.
Hi, you know my name.
Oh, your son's told my colleagues a lot about you. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Michael. I don't have my notes, but are you a sickle cell warrior yourself?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, not even the trait.
Oh, one of the lucky ones.
He's blessed. So tell me about this place. Come and sit down. I don't bite.
Well, Tina, we're from an organisation called Health and Unity where we specialise in sickle cell care. We have a number of care centres all over the world, but we've just opened our first one in London. All our staff are fully trained so that each patient's individual needs can be met, and we have the newest transfusion machines, which means that we can cut the procedure down by 50%. At Health and Unity, our priority is for patients not to be in pain for a second longer than they need to be. So at the first signs of discomfort or crisis, we can offer the relevant opioid.
So that's no more waiting hours in A&E, begging the doctors to give you something like you're some kind of junkie. Look, these people, they understand sickle cell properly.
We really do understand the burden of living with sickle cell, and we don't think that anyone should have to carry that burden alone.
Yeah, so fast forward, Michael and all the other characters in the show that are prominent get powers. And so this is a fast forwarding, because I'm not going to talk about the plot. The plot is interesting. It just isn't relevant to the sickle cell part of the video. The next time sickle cell is highlighted is in episode, I believe it's 5 or 4. Michael's mom gets into a pain crisis.
All right, I'm just hanging there, all right? I'm sorry I should have been here sooner, okay? But I'm here. Huh? What do you need? What do you need, Mum? What do you need? Look, let me get the nurse, okay? No, they're gonna come and attend to you. Hey, come on, Mum! Yeah, just talk to me. Help, come on, help! How many times have you
Okay, Tino, please, I need you to wait outside.
No, I can't leave, I'm staying here. Come on,
Okay, I need you to wait outside. Okay, Tina, I'm here now.
I'm outside, okay? Mum, I'm outside.
I'm gonna be getting you some oxygen, okay? Where is it hurting? Your stomach?
Mum, just hang
Your
there.
stomach? Okay.
Mum, I'm outside! I'm outside!
And that's all we saw of Michael's mom until hopefully season 2, which hasn't aired as of 2025. But that is one thing this show has that I think is good for us, is that they can embed sickle cell warriors all throughout the show and not feel guilty and not feel pressured by the public or, say, executives to take it out or take us, remove us from the show just to appease an audience or to, make more profit. I think that that's what this show has, is that rebellious mentality when it comes to, we're gonna put us on TV, we're gonna put the sickle cell community on TV, and people will watch because it is that good of a show, and not just as like a pandering kind of thing, but more of a, we are supporting you guys kind of thing. And that's why I feel like the sickle cell community needs to champion this show, because what else do we have, honestly? Yes, we have the pit, but there isn't anything in the media that is mainstream, that people are generally watching, that is gonna move the needle in our favor. Yeah, so Rap Man, good job on this. You did your thing with Supercell, and for you to not even have sickle cell but still want to do something for us is very admirable, and so I appreciate that. And so yeah, y'all already know Supercell finna get that S treatment. So far in this video, I've been reviewing shows and movies that's aired after the year 2000, and this show, ER, has aired in 1994, making it the oldest out of all of these. And if the show is a person, it'd be considered an unk according to Gen Z.
No, sir.
So let's see if the sickle cell sentiment back in the 20th century aged like milk or wine.
Hi, I'm Dr. Weaver. What's the problem?
I'm having a sickle cell crisis, and somebody stole my Percodance at the bus station.
Where's your pain?
It's like having a migraine all over.
Mr. Jackson says the pain is 10 out of 10. Pulse and temp are normal.
My pulse and temperature don't usually go up. I need 250 of Demerol as soon as possible.
That's a big dose.
I know me. I need to break the cycle now.
BP's normal, 130/80.
Let's run in 2 liters of saline, O2 6 liters, draw a CBC with a retic count, and give him 60 of Toradol.
I'm allergic to it.
To a Stadol, then.
That too. I'm telling you, Demerol's all I can take, okay?
Who's your doctor?
I go to the Pontiac Clinic.
Okay, give him 50 of Demerol IV. Repeat once in 15 minutes, PRN.
50 won't touch me, miss.
Give the medication a chance to work, Mr. Jackson.
I need 250.
Let's call the clinic and see.
So yeah, the patient is being unheard clearly. Let's see if it improves in the next clips or so, and then I'll give my final opinion.
Jimmy, just walked in. Carrie, what? That sickle cell guy's had 100 of Demerol, says it hasn't touched him.
Yeah, did you call the Pontiac clinic?
I tried, number's not in service.
Why am I not surprised? Crit and retic count okay, white count's normal.
What's the problem with you people? I need more Demerol.
Run in the rest of the saline, give him 4 tabs of codeine to go, and treat him.
This should be interesting.
Did y'all catch that? She basically denied the fact that he was in pain based on the lab results. How they attended to treat Mr. Jackson, because I did not like the way the other nurse said the sickle cell guy. That was very out of touch. But the way that they were going to treat him, they were going to give him some saline, which is basically hydrate him through an IV and then send him on his way with some codeine. And I want to ask y'all, did you guys ever hear the doctor say what his hemoglobin was? He said he had a migraine. Did they ever do an MRI of his head? Because that could be a sign of an impending stroke. So yeah, these doctors were very negligent and abusive to this patient, and he should sue that hospital for malpractice. If you paid attention, the woman said that he had 100 of Demerol and the dosage was 50 every 15. So he basically spent 30 minutes with them giving him something that did not work for his pain and suffering through it without any help. Yeah, this is so far not good. Let's see if it redeems itself with this next clip.
This sickle cell guy, Weaver turfed, he's back, and I can't tell if he's a junkie or he's in a real crisis.
Get a doctor in here! I'm in pain, hurry up!
I'm Dr. Ross. Let's get his vitals and start an IV. Sit back here, will you?
You could give me some Demerol?
Is that what works for you?
Yeah. Nobody believes me.
What do you think caused this crisis?
Oh, I'm stressed. I'm trying to get home to KC for my sister's wedding, right? And somebody stole my pain pills.
They take everything?
Yeah, they took everything, man. Will you give me some Demerol, please?
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Make you better, but we're gonna do it my way, okay?
All right.
Vitals are normal.
Start an IV, 5 of Dilaudid, and then 3 every 10 minutes till it doesn't feel any more pain. While she's medicating you, we're gonna try something, all right? Just close your eyes. When you think of a place that makes you feel calm.
Oh, come on, man.
Hey, I'm trusting you. You gotta trust me, okay? Close your eyes. Think of a place.
All right, place. My granny's kitchen.
Okay, good. Close them.
I can't do this.
Yes, you can.
No.
Breathe slow.
It hurts.
All right.
Well, thank God that Granny's kitchen done saved the day. I mean, throw the whole episode away. This does not make me want to watch ER anymore. Not that I was gonna watch it, but it makes it even further that I'm not gonna watch it just because
that's right.
This show almost makes a joke of sickle cell pain and tries to make it seem like we are just drug seeking.
Ain't nobody doing drugs in my house.
Really in pain. So yeah, throw the whole episode away. While you're at it,
don't need it.
Throw the whole show away. So Mr. Jackson, at the end of the day, he leaves and nobody learns anything.
World allotted to get you your sister's wedding.
Oh, great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, all right, you're welcome.
Hey! What is he doing back in here?
It's not your concern, Carrie. He's my patient.
You don't help an addict by giving him drugs.
That is a sickle cell patient in pain.
No, that is a drug seeker who has learned to manipulate the system.
He cannot function without painkillers, Carrie.
People live in pain. They suck it up and get past it.
What's up with her?
I think the crown is weighing heavily on the Queen's head.
Yo, ER, are you for real? Are we serious? We got some things to say then. I need you to pay us. I need you to pay us for defamation and whatever else that we can throw at you for misrepresenting the sickle cell community. And actually, I just looked it up. They stopped airing in 2009. So y'all got off easy. Y'all lucky. In Hollywood, don't let this happen again. I'm not playing with you. If you fund another movie or a TV show that depicts us as drug addicts, I'm gonna pull a Will Smith. Keep my wife's name out your expletive mouth. I'm tired of talking about this garbage. Sometimes you just gotta take your L. Ruh-roh. You didn't think I'd be talking about Scooby-Doo. Usually in an episode, they'll go to someplace and then they find it's haunted, and then after running around hallways being scared, they catch the ghost, and then it turns out it's a person, and then they unmask the person, and it usually is somebody that they meet along the way, like a chef or a cop or somebody else that they met to assist them in their journey, and then the person is like, oh, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids. And that's the gist of Scooby-Doo. They have a bunch of spin-offs, one of them being Velma. So let's just watch what they got to say about sickle cell.
Hey, watch where you're going, jerk. Oh, hey, Fred.
Do I know you?
It's Velma from school. You cheat off me in Spanish because you think I'm Mexican.
Maybe. I have a disease where I can't recognize people who aren't hot. My doctor says it's basically sickle cell for rich guys. My doctor says it's basically sickle.
This is how you eat a Big Mac, nigga. Comes with the
Wait, I'm still not done.
With the laws of state of out of this court.
Do you not like it?
Noah.
Larry, what the hell are you doing?
Larry! Larry, you can't just. Oh,
Larry! Oh, are you all right? How did you...
Larry! Righto. What's going on here?
Oh, sir, I'm arrested. Oh.
Velma got canceled, y'all. And to that, I say good riddance. The cancellation was too good for that show anyway. All the staff and all the executive team needed to be blacklisted from Hollywood from ever making another show again. Thank you, HBO Max, for giving me a show that I can hate for life. I will never buy your services. I will never get your subscription. I will never watch any of your shows ever again. But, yeah. Velma is an F. This is Zane. He has sickle cell, and in Grey's Anatomy, episode 4 of season 21, I believe, or 12, he works at the hospital, and then at the job, he suffers a pain crisis.
Taken to an operating room and place. Hey, are you sure you're okay? I could take a look if you want.
Someone give me a gurney!
I'm sorry, y'all. It was the way that he fell, the way that it looked like, you know, it made it seem like he had like all this debris falling on him, and he, you know, the way that people just reacted, it just was so funny. So apparently Zane's hip needs to be replaced, and the gene therapy that it takes to cure his sickle cell altogether, he says to the doctors that he can't afford it and his insurance won't pay for it.
You have sickle cell.
Yeah, and I know about that new gene therapy that cures it, but my insurance won't cover it, and I don't have $3 million laying around, so I still got it.
FDA approves a cure, and nobody can afford to get it.
If I had $3 million, I wouldn't want to spend it on treatments. I'd buy a boat and sail around the world.
Is that his spleen? It's so small.
Pretty much non-functional at this point.
Also, those are iron deposits in his liver. Should we take care of his gallstones too?
The gallbladder wall's not acutely inflamed. The sickle cell's basically ravaged his body, including
his hip, which you all would have seen if you noticed his MRI was up. He's got subchondral collapse and flattening of the femoral head. We're gonna have to replace the whole joint.
Oh, he's not gonna like that.
We don't have a choice. If he wants to stop this joint from completely degenerating.
So Zane is diagnosed with avascular necrosis in his hip, and that surgery would be the only thing to fix it. And the doctors say that he can get it today and his insurance will cover it, but Zane has to take care of his son. And so the doctors and Zane gets into the part about the healthcare industry only helping alleviate symptoms and not get the cure. And so the doctor then is compelled to go to the head medical director and ask him to get the funding for Zane to get the cure, since he works in the hospital and is in the same rooms as the doctors, etc.
Sorry to bother you, but this is important.
It's about a patient and it's urgent.
Can you page another attending?
We need you, or Dr. Altman, but she's heading to emergent surgery.
Our patient has sickle cell disease, and there's a new gene therapy that could cure him, but it's expensive and his insurance won't cover it.
We know the hospital can't treat everyone pro bono, but this man works here. He walks the same halls as us and eats the same cafeteria food. How can we look him in the eye knowing we're not gonna help him just because some idiot suit in an insurance office says we can't?
Doctors, these are some of our partners from Balcom Medical. These are two of our surgical interns who I believe have rounds.
We do.
Thank you for your time.
So the question remains, did he get the surgery and did he get the gene therapy?
How's he doing?
Feels like this could have been a much less extensive surgery years ago.
Well, seeking treatment when you have sickle cell is a minefield of stigmas and misunderstandings. That's not on Zane.
Yes, your surgery went very well.
How do you feel?
Really tired.
Pain meds are still working.
So is this Zane Johnson?
Now these pain meds are really strong, that you're not Dr. Lincoln.
I'm Dr. Weber. I have some good news. There's a possibility you could get sickle cell gene therapy.
What? How?
We're doing it pro bono?
No, my partners and I at Balcom heard your story, and we'd like to open a discussion about how you can apply for a grant we have.
I can't believe this. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, advocates. They really made an impression.
Okay, we're talking about that later.
If you get the go-ahead, we need to get you started soon. This whole process could take almost a year.
No, a year?
Well, sometimes as soon as 8 months. You'll get blood transfusions. Then you'll stay in the hospital to collect your stem cells. And after gene therapy, you'll be given chemo and kept in isolation for about a month until your immune system recovers.
I don't think I can do that. My son has special needs, and I can't afford a caretaker to be away from him for that long.
Okay, well, think about it, and maybe you'll figure something out.
The system still sucks.
Yeah, if only there was something we could do about it.
So that article from Reuters that I referenced earlier says that doctors say use of the therapies could increase as more data emerges on safety and efficacy, but many patients are waiting on the sidelines, timing pregnancies, weighing the cost of fertility treatments, or put off by the lengthy process. Others are seeking insurance approval. Hospitals need to confirm payments in advance. And that's in line with what Zane has been going through in this episode. He's been looking for it, but he's been hesitant to get it as of right now just because of his prior obligations. So it's kind of unfortunate that these insurance companies, they'll pay for the therapy, but not like the steps that it takes to get the therapy. So that's the thing. Unfortunately, as of right now, this is all we have. But there are ways to move around it. So if you want to get it, you can get it. Okay, so sickle cell is mentioned more than just in Zane's episode in Grey's Anatomy. So let's just watch it.
There has to be a good reason why, because you are too smart for this. So, tell me.
Look. When I was a kid, I was in a clinical trial for sickle cell anemia.
What?
I was 5. They held me down, the nurses and the doctors, sticking me with needles and taking my bone marrow. You can't imagine the pain. And my mom would be saying over and over, honey, it's for your own good. It's for your own good. I screamed and I kicked and I fought. And so sometimes they would strap me to the table, which they were right to do for my own good. I was 5. I felt like I was being punished for something that I didn't do, for something that was inside of me. And I'm not gonna do that to somebody else. I'm sorry. I can't. I won't.
So for context, they both are seeing a patient that needs physical therapy, but I think she suffered some like brain thing, and they had to force her basically, and she got triggered because it reminded her of when she was in the sickle cell therapy trial, and she had to be strapped down to the table because it was painful. And so she wasn't trying to put that patient through the same pain.
How could you make up a story like that? What? Working the system is one thing. You want to tell a little lie to get your labs around faster? Great. I'm on board. But what you did in there? The violin you played for Dr. Shepard? You can't do that. You can't manipulate someone like that. You crossed a line. Don't you even have a conscience? Well, it worked. So maybe I'm better off that one.
This is why people with sickle cell do not like telling people about their illness, especially in a workplace environment. This woman didn't understand nor want to understand why she was doing the things that she was doing. And because of her lack of empathy, she thought that she was standing up for this doctor, but instead she was hurting the other doctor. And she believed her when she said that the other doctor was lying.
As residency director, you should know. Dr. Edwards abandoned a patient this afternoon, and when questioned about it, she lied to my face. A truly offensive lie about being sick as a kid, and I bought it. I believed you. She told me...
Dr. Shepard. What do you want me to do here?
She doesn't believe me on her own.
When she applied to this program, I got a call from Keith Wagner at St. Jude's. That sickle cell trial was a milestone of his career. Wanted to tell me how proud he was of her and how lucky we'd be to have her. Hers was one of the few success stories to come out of that trial.
I don't understand why Wilson told me you lied.
Because Wilson doesn't know. Because I don't talk about it anymore. Because I'm not a patient anymore. I am a surgeon. And when I do talk about it, I only tell people I can trust.
Why didn't she just tell me to confirm the story with you? Why did she let me... God!
How many hours? How many days? How many surgeries have you spent with Edwards? She's been your right hand. So why was it so easy to question her integrity based on the word of a doctor you hardly knew?
Yeah, that was stupid on your part. But you know what they say about assumptions. It make a out of you and me. So yeah, in typical hospital show fashion, they made up. And so Grey's Anatomy did good. They did cover a lot of the nuance when it comes to sickle cell, and I appreciate that. Therefore, it deserves an A in my book.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
If you don't know what SNL is, then you either live in another country or you're too young to watch this video. That being said, every person in America, in North America, really knows what SNL is. It's a comedy show, and they do skits, they do sketches, they do comedy, they have special guests, they do live performances, and in one of the episodes, they did a skit on sickle cell.
Oh, whoa, what is this?
It's a Boogie Woogie Santa Claus. Check him out.
It's the Boogie Woogie Santa and I'm coming down the chimney tonight.
Oh, whoa! That is fun.
Wow, who knew Santa could be so cool?
Not this guy.
So, Landon, you gonna keep the Boogie Woogie Santa or swap it out?
Are you kidding me? This thing rocks.
Great, awesome. Okay, next up is Winston.
Oh, my turn? Okay, then. How about...
Wait, Winston. Maybe open this.
This? Oh, wow, okay. Congratulations. You have been enrolled in Vertex Pharmaceuticals and CRISPR Therapeutics Exocell program for sickle cell anemia. Is this a new treatment?
It's not a treatment. It's a cure. The FDA just approved Exocell this week, but there's a two-year waiting list. And, Winston, we've been working together for 8 years, and I always hated to see you in such pain, so, Merry Christmas.
Oh my God, Brenda, how did you do this?
My wife is a bigwig at CRISPR, so I had to ask.
Amazing. This is... I don't even know what to say. Merry Christmas. All right, just gonna swap this out for that Boogie Woogie Santa.
You serious?
And I get it. The joke was he traded the gene therapy that would have saved his life for something that's just for entertainment. And I feel like that joke was corny. And I think a way for it to have been better was if somebody else got their gift and then traded their gift for the gene therapy when they don't even have sickle cell. Like, come on, you taking my opportunity for gene therapy? Bruh. So SNL, it pains me to do this. You were good, but you could have been great. So I'm gonna give you a C. Bill Cosby, we all know what he's doing now and why what he's doing now. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about what he did back then. Back in 1972, in a movie called To All My Friends on Shore. And I know it's an old movie and probably none of you have heard it, but it does feature a person living with sickle cell. And so we're going to talk about it.
What else did he tell you?
That he has sickle cell anemia.
Yeah. A whole lot of doctor talk about sickle cell anemia. Says that you carry it and I carry it, and that's called a trait. And Vandy's got it, and that's called congenital. So that the red blood cells is what's doing it. They're moon-shaped, and that they carry oxygen to the veins, and the Vandy's ain't moon-shaped at all. They're shaped like a sickle, you know, it would cut the weeds, and they jam up the oxygen supply in the veins, so he's got it in the joints and in the lungs and in the heart.
How come only black kids get it?
It's because.
Why?
Don't ask me why. Why don't you ask the preacher why? Why there's tall, why there's short, why there's smart, why there's dumb, why there's black, why there's white, and why is the sun? I mean, it ain't our fault. We ain't done nothing.
Did they say what they're gonna do?
They say they're gonna give them some medicine and keep them quiet. Give some blood. Make them stronger so they can hold out longer. Now, what all did they tell you?
Well, mostly what you said. How, you get born with it. And how a bad infection can set it off, like the sores on Andy's feet. How he always seems to keep a cold. How only black children, just one in four.
He's gonna die. Didn't they tell you that, Serena? We're gonna lose him, Serena. And it just ain't to the sickness. The Vandy's sickness is he was born black and poor.
Yeah, so unfortunately back in 1970, they did not have a lot of treatment options for sickle cell. Hydroxyurea hit the scene back in 1998. And so basically the parents take the mentality, oh, we're gonna give my son a very good send-off and just wait for him to die. Kind of like a Make-A-Wish kid, at least in theory, because not all of them are waiting to die. And the organization grants kids different experiences that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to do, like go to Disneyland, sit at baseball, basketball, football games, meet celebrities like LeBron James or their favorite YouTuber. I'm not trying to explain Make-A-Wish to you guys. I'm just saying the parents are giving up on their kid. So they decide to take a boat ride to make the kid feel like the last moments of his life on Earth were meaningful. And that's how the movie ends. And there is nothing learned. The lesson about sickle cell is still people gonna die. Speaking of antiquated, the doctor that diagnosed the son got the diagnosis from a book. He just was reading a hematology book and got his diagnosis from that. So this movie had a lot of inconsistencies and outdated scenes to them. And even though it is from that era, it still does not represent us in a good light. Therefore, it deserves a D. So this is the final verdict. The show that did the best for sickle cell representation is Supercell and The Pit. And then the worst out of them all, by a long shot, is Velma. Thank you guys for watching. I know it's been a long video. And for those of you that stayed, I thank you from the bottom of my sickle cell blood pumping heart. I know this is my first video for real having this long of a format, but I promise the next ones will never be this long, I promise. I'm not trying to shoot myself in the foot with the YouTube algorithm. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.